for that. Let's try this.
Okay.
See if we got it there. Now we're
Let me
live.
refresh. There we are.
There we go. Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. All right. Yeah. So y'all sit tight. We'll get the show officially loaded, and here we go. All right, folks. We're hitting the purple button on our X Keys 80, which has, I think it's got 9 different shortcuts in it that execute all at once. It's really cool. Oh, let's do this too. I'm getting some fuzzies here on my right. Oh, when I take my arm down, it moves the light. Okay, that's good. All right. And the old news trick is you reach back and grab the back of your shirt or your coat and pull it down, and then pull it down in the front. It smooths everything out. Okay. You've been waiting for me to get loaded. Thank you, Tommy. All right, we're here. Hang tight. We're starting the show. It's always a surprise with those jaws open. So glad to have you with us today. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots. You've officially arrived at the end of the internet. You can't go any further than this. I mean, this is like, when you're in a town and then there are people that live outside of town and then there are people that live in the boonies. Well, we're beyond the internet boonies. We're right at the edge. You look over the edge of the internet and you can see nothingness. That's where we are. So you can't go any further than this show. So glad to have you. Streaming Idiots, as you know, was created about 9 years ago to bring all the streaming folks in the world together that felt like, they couldn't do it right all the time. That was us, that we're the idiots. We're the ones that forget to press the record button. There's a key for that. We're the ones that forget to start the stream. I had set up and was streaming, but YouTube wasn't streaming. I had to hit the blue button, which thankfully now is red, meaning we're live. Excited about today's show because we've got 2 of the premier technical experts in their field on the show with us today from PTZ Optics. So let me bring those guys in. Let's see if I've got the right button for that. Yeah, there we go. Let's take that lower third off. We want to welcome Tess and Lindsay from PTZ Optics, because we're going to be talking about PTZ Optics cameras today. Paul found out he was on the show, decided to call in sick instead, and so he's out of here. He's not going to be with us today, but that's okay. We've got Lindsay, and she'll more than make up for it. The reason I've invited you guys on the show today is because you guys have got some neat new cameras. I am so excited. I remember talking with Matt like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, about the 4K cameras that he was designing. And he was like, yeah, we should have them out in about 6 months. And apparently little supply chain issues may have slowed that down by a year or two. But so glad to have you guys on the show, Tess and Lindsay. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Tom. It's always fun to join you in the Streaming Idiots.
Well, you're always so gracious and nice. And Lindsay, this is your first time on the Streaming Idiot show.
Yeah. I think
All
this is my first time ever being on somebody else's show.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think
I didn't recognize it. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Wow.
Congrats. Welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
This is fun. I'm excited.
Cool. Well, it's really not a big deal. It's really not a big deal because all the people that are watching are our friends. And these are the kind of friends that only make fun of you just a little bit, not a lot. So,
Tastefully.
Tastefully. That's right. Within acceptable boundaries. That's right. So that's the thing. So you guys are in your new studio. there in,
We are.
is it Westchester, Pennsylvania?
Yes, we're actually in Downingtown, where our official headquarters is.
Okay.
And we're so excited to be in a brand new space. And we've got some additions being built and some fun surprises that we're excited to share in the coming months.
So you're going to do a studio tour after Christmas. All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
a studio tour is definitely in the cards for us coming soon.
Awesome. Awesome. That's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait. So, but today we're here to talk about cameras. Now, I still have a Gen 1. I still have a PTZ Optics
An OG.
12X
I
Gen 1.
I don't need that one.
And I
Impressive.
remember those are the bad old days when there wasn't PoE and you had to get a little adapter so that you could power it off the adapter. And yeah, we ran it in our church for years and used IP streaming and had a 500 millisecond latency put into it so that it worked perfectly. It was really great. And then the Gen 2s came out and they had PoE, and now we've got the Gen 3s that have got everything. Tell me about the Gen 3s, the Move 4K. Lay it out there.
Yeah, we are so excited to finally be launching these cameras, the Move 4K series. I'm going to pull my headphone out so I can give a quick little spiel without hearing myself. These cameras are amazing. They're everything that we've been working so hard for years to bring to our customers, bringing all of their requests together to create kind of a full package. And what I mean by that is we've included all the outputs that our traditional Gen 2 models offer on a single camera. So we're talking USB, HDMI, NDI HX3. We'll get into that in a little bit. And 3G SDI. So you no longer have to pick between which output is best for you. The big thing about these cameras, of course, as well, is that they're 4K 60. So you're able to stream 4K finally. We're very excited to be able to offer that. But if you're not ready for that, no problem. You can still stream in 1080 or even 720 if that's what works for you. So it's kind of a future-proofing solution that we're hoping to provide our clients, whether it's from the output options, whatever output they're ready to use, and the resolution.
And so you've got a camera now that not only future-proofs, but becomes I don't know if you guys ever played sports, but there was always somebody on my sports team that could play every position on the field. You know, they could pitch, they could catch, they could play shortstop, they could play first base, they could play outfield. And that's what this camera is. This camera is a guy, a gal. Do cameras have gender? When you refer to the camera, do you refer to it as it, her, or he?
They're actually non-binary.
There you go.
There you go. They're just
Fair
the camera.
days.
You got the new
cam.
wave here.
Little Gen Z over here.
That's right. So
Yeah, they don't discriminate between outputs.
So they don't discriminate between outputs, and they'll play any position on the
Exactly.
field you want them to. That's great.
That's a great
amazing.
analogy, Tom.
So for USB, that means somebody could set it up as a very easy to set up studio camera. And they could power it over Ethernet with PoE plus, because it's going to take just a little bit more juice than the Gen 2s do. And they can control it through your app or the handheld remote or vMix. That's cool. That's cool. Now but that's not the coolest thing. I mean, USB, I get, we all get USB, we all get SDI, we all get HDMI. We're going to talk about NDI HX3 in just a second, but there's a bigger feature that we have not even mentioned the words about yet, which is auto tracking.
Auto tracking.
Tell me about auto tracking. Oh my gosh. Is that huge or what?
Yeah, it was a big request of so many of our established customers that we knew that we had to include it in our latest models. So each of the Move 4K cameras, and I should mention, we do offer 12x, 20x, and 30x optical zoom. All of these cameras will have auto tracking enabled natively within the camera. So It's not just any auto tracking either. We're going to demo it. Unlike some of our previous models, like the simple track light from the Huddle Cam, line, sorry. This the auto tracking on these cameras allow for presenter lock, meaning somebody can walk in front of or behind the presenter and not disrupt the tracking features. So we're excited to be able to share that with people using the camera for education, house of worship, and the like.
So this is a Cotton Eye Joe proof camera, because I saw Lindsay in one of the clips doing the Cotton Eye Joe, dancing around the studio. You and
Yes.
Paul were running back and forth, and the camera stayed consistently on her. Have you got a clip?
Mhm.
Can you show me something about this camera?
I don't have a clip, but we can demo
But
it
I can
now
do
if
it
you're ready for
again.
that.
We can do it again. All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the demo.
Yeah.
Mike, if you could switch to the tracking cam. All right, we have it now, and
All right. let me
should be
figure out
set
how to
on
go
on you
to
full
start with.
screen with that camera. Here we
Let me know
go.
when you're ready with these shots, Tom.
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay. So if you just stand still for a sec, Linz, I'll just show them that the camera is going to be tracking me and not Lindsay. And when I want to change who is going
Oh,
to be
she
tracked
walked
by
right
the
behind her
camera,
and it's still tracked.
behind, in front of, it does not matter.
What if you
Like I
sit
said,
down?
they don't discriminate.
If you sit down on that bench, what happens?
Okay. Let me sit and scooch. It's going to adjust to the height that I'm at as well.
Look at that.
So
it
it's
zooms
not
right
just left
in.
to
Oh, it zoomed
right.
in.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it does. It's going to frame you in there nicely as well.
I can
Awesome.
sit down.
And she's going to disturb the focus here. Have herself a nice little lay. All right, then hop back up for me. Let me show him if we want to switch between the presenters. So I'm using the IR remote, where if you're familiar with the previous models, the F keys, that's going to allow us to make adjustments between tracking.
Aha.
All right, so you see these green arrows. I'm using the arrow buttons on the remote to switch between operators.
Get
Since
out.
I want it to select Lindsay, I'm going to press OK. And then she can start walking. And now it's tracking Lindsay.
That's
Can I,
amazing.
Joe?
And let me just disturb her moment. Who's going to like this, Tom?
Folks, we're getting a song and
Which
dance.
customers?
This is awesome. What's customer? Who's not going to like
I feel
it?
like this is going to be, I feel like it'll be big in house of worship and lecture halls and maybe even sports.
I was going to
I'm
say
not sure.
sports,
Have you taken it out to a
Theater.
ball
theater
game?
for sure, because you can.
We haven't. We have not. The only place outside of our studio that we've been is a church for
Okay.
testing.
Okay. No, obviously it's going
I
to
like
do well in
moonwalk.
church, and for some church types, they have pastors and people that move a lot. Others, the pastors are really sedentary, they're never moving. But for the ones that move a lot, this is going to be great. And look at that, and it's going to follow that
Singers?
person, whoever they are, wherever they are.
This
This
is my
is
favorite.
awesome. This is awesome.
I like to pretend that I'm in a music video. Just
Lindsay is
singing
our
my
live
little heart out.
entertainment.
This is good.
She's me 5 years ago.
Really am. What's your favorite Christmas song or holiday song?
Mine?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Mm.
I like the Adam Sandler Hanukkah song. All right, I
Now-
think we could switch back, Mike, to the main cam.
This is yeah, there we go. This is
Is it possible to change the head?
we're using vMix call, so the resolution of the camera is not coming through at whatever you guys are sending. I think we're getting 720 today because we're asking you to do a couple of different feeds up here. So
Thank you
that
for
was
noting that.
720. It's going to be 1080 and it's going to be 4K on top of that. and 4K 60, I think, except for the SDI connection.
Yes, the
So
HDMI can do 4K.
you're going to be
60.
able to take, let's talk a little bit about NDI, because that's kind of where I was going with this. This is going to be NDI HX, the third flavor of that.
Correct.
Why is that important?
To be honest, I'm not as well versed in the versions of NDI, but there is a new process that they have that requires you to go through to become compatible with NDI HX3. And that's the knowledge I have on that. John, if you're in the chat to back me up on that, I can give some more accurate information.
That's okay. That's okay. We're not worried
Unless
about
you
that.
know, Tom.
By the way, there is a question in the chat. Which model are you using? You're using the 20X right there in the studio?
Yes, both of the cameras that you've seen us on, which is this one and the one we were tracking with, are 20Xs.
Okay.
20X Move 4K.
20X
Thank you, John.
Move 4K.
He's in the chat responding
right.
for me. Allows for lowest possible latency in predefined settings.
Okay. So what is the latency, Jonathan? I mean, you can't just lay that out there as low as possible. You got to give us a number. We want to know, because typically the Gen 2 NDI HX camera had a latency of about 50 milliseconds, which is the equivalent of SDI, the cabled connection. And so that was pretty significant, because what it meant was that you could put that camera in an NDI, a PTZ Optics NDI HX camera in with a bunch of other SDI cameras, and you wouldn't have to make adjustments to your audio, because the camera would show the image at the same point with about 50 milliseconds. We've got about 50 milliseconds of latency today between my camera and my audio. So I had to slow my audio down to suit that. So yeah.
We'll see if John will respond on that in the chat.
I love it. So auto tracking is huge. The fact that you can I use my old remote with that? I've got the F buttons here.
No, you will need to have a remote
Got to use
dedicated
the
for
new
4K
fancy
cameras
tracking
be
remote.
included.
Okay. All right. That's okay. That's all right.
But if you do have a G2 camera and you want to do auto tracking, we have an application that's going to be released soon that will allow you to do that.
I'm sorry. I thought I heard you say something important. Say that again.
If you do have a G2 camera, you will be able to do auto tracking with that via our camera management platform, which is in beta right now. And that should be being released sometime in end of January or early February.
Are you allowed to say that?
Honestly, I was thinking the same thing.
No, it's fine.
You
And
actually
John
can
says,
only.
hold on,
That
correction
is
coming in here.
huge.
Oh,
That is huge. So everybody that's got a G2 camera.
You haven't heard that, huh?
No, I haven't heard that. I'm not in the right place. I'm not in the know, Tess. I'm not in the know. That's the problem.
Well, now you are, and I'm excited that I can share that with you now.
So anybody that has a G2, I'm assuming we're talking about the late G2s, not the few early G2s that came out, because they didn't even have PoE, I don't think. But the late G2s, which is most of the G2s that have ever been made, there will be an app that I can put on my PC or on my phone, or both.
It is going to be a PC application.
Okay, it's going to be a PC app, and I can use that to just set up the auto tracking on the camera, and then the camera will just do what Lindsay's Cotton Eye Joe did a little while ago. That's amazing.
Yes, with the latest firmware, when the application is released, then yeah, you will be able to make your G2 cameras auto tracking.
So it's a firmware update and an app. And then, holy cow. And how much is this?
It's free. The CMP is going to be free.
I'm sorry. I thought I heard you say free.
We're just trying to allow the maximum capability with current customers, keep them happy, and hopefully attract some customers that otherwise wouldn't have purchased if they didn't have auto tracking capabilities.
There is free auto tracking with the Move 4K.
That's right. But I did want to correct myself on something. Tom, John is saying that you can use the old remote with the Move 4K cameras for tracking.
Well, dang.
So I was wrong on that one,
I'm ready.
which is good news.
Let's go.
So if
This is
you
cool.
lose your Move 4K remote,
So,
don't
folks, we
worry,
are
use
getting
one of
all
your old
sorts of
G2.
secrets from PTZ Optics that they didn't even know themselves. This is great. This is wonderful. I love
That's
it. Love it.
stuff that I'm still learning even.
All right. So if you've got a G2, not only can you get this cool new app and new firmware for the camera, which is not hard to put in, by the way. If you're thinking firmware, oh my gosh, I couldn't possibly do that. It's really not that hard. And I'm sure Paul and Tess and Lindsay will have some videos to show you how to update your firmware, because everybody's going to be doing it. Y'all are going to have more people update firmware because of this than you probably have in your entire existence as a camera company. I mean, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be huge. I can't wait to. I have some. I've got G2s here.
I can get
and
you
I've
the beta.
already ordered G3s. So, gee whiz, this is great. All right, so
exciting.
So we kind of got lost on auto tracking, but there really is. There's one feature that I remember Matt and I talking about a while back, and he was able to repurpose, I think, the power light on the front of the camera as a tally light, but it was so small you couldn't really see it. But you guys are doing something new with a tally light. Can you talk about that?
I could talk a little bit about the tally light on the. Okay, so we do have 2 tally light options coming down the pipeline. Yes, we are including a tally light on the Move 4K cameras themselves. It is fairly small on the 12 and 20X, but the 30X Move camera is much larger than the 12 and 20Xs, as you'll find out soon, Tom. And the tally light is a little bit larger on there. But we do have additional tally light accessories coming down the pipipeline.
And I understand that
on the camera.
The 30X is a little different format than the 20 and the 12, a little bit larger. The 20 and the 12, as I can see it in the background behind you, look like the Gen 3. I mean, it looks like just a Gen 2 with more horsepower. But the 30X is going to be a little bit different, I think. I understand something about the lenses. Had to use a different lens at 30X and 4K. So yeah, I get that. All right, now, if I'm out there and I'm going, if I'm Tommy sitting there in Tallahassee, Alabama, which, by the way, is y'all's #1 fans. I'll just say that right now. If I'm Tommy out there, I'm thinking, when can I get one of these? When is it going to be in the pipeline? Do we have any details on pipeline?
Well, I can tell you they are on their way to us currently. And within the first few weeks of the new year, these will be shipping. I can comfortably say that.
Comfortably within the first few weeks of the new year, they will be shipping. And this this is going to be all 3 cameras. The 30X is a little bit behind, but it will have caught up at that point.
And 30X.
Yeah. Okay. That's great.
Precisely.
Now, what about pricing? How much do I have to save up to get one of these rascals?
My details.
I like the free option
a range
on the Gen 2s, but the 4K, I mean, you got to get the 4K. If you're going to buy a camera today, you may as well get 4K, even if you're not going to use it today. So
they're going to range between $1,900 and $2,400.
Get out. That's amazing.
Yeah, we wanted to stay competitive with the pricing on these models. So we hope that that'll be accessible for most of our customers.
These are almost the same price as your 1080p cameras, just a smidgen more. That's amazing.
Yeah, just a little bit more. Obviously,
how do you do that,
Tess? We had to upgrade the cameras. What's that?
What's the secret? How do you do that? Just a little bit more for a whole lot more.
Ask Matt Davis and operations. I don't know how they do it, but I know it's important to them.
That's what the car dealer said. He said that, we lose just a little bit money on every car we sell, but we make it up in volume. Think about that.
Maybe that's the mentality.
Yeah, I think that's the mentality. Just sell a ton of them. The numbers will work out. That's great. So we've got 4K, as if that wasn't enough. We have auto tracking, as if that wasn't enough. We have the latest, greatest version of NDI-HX, which is 3. We've got a remote that will turn on and off auto tracking and will switch it from person to person. Do you have to set up the people in advance? I mean, did you guys have
No,
to
it
go
just starts tracking as soon as you turn tracking on.
and so it just picks somebody to track?
Yes, whoever is in the frame.
Whoever's
But
in the frame.
I
Okay.
recommend switching to a separate camera if you want to switch between presenters while you're live.
Gotcha.
This way you don't get the green box on your output.
Because that shows on the output. Right. Got it. Okay. So yeah. All right. So let's see. I think I have a picture here. Hold on. Let me find my mouse. I think I have a picture of what that looks like. Come on, Tom. You're a professional. You know these things. Yeah, here it is. So that would be what the box would look like on the output. I don't know if you guys can see that feed. If you're watching YouTube, it's
I'll
going
have
to
to
be
wait till
behind.
YouTube catches up.
But yeah, so there's an example of somebody in the front of a metal
yes.
building at a New Life meeting, and they have pinned this guy as the. You don't say pinned. What do you say when you're selecting somebody to be the new subject for the camera? Is there a word
I
for
would
it?
just say select. Presenter
You say
select.
select. Okay. You need to come up with a really catchy word and copyright it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like pinning. Pinning
Pin
would
them.
work.
Pinning.
You can pin
Toggle.
stickers.
Yeah.
Toggle
yeah.
between
Toggle.
is a good one.
Anoint. That would be a good kind of worship one.
Nope.
You know, we're gonna anoint the new speaker with a green square. All right. Very good. Very good. Very good. All right. What have we missed? What features have we not talked about? Have you got a picture
Well,
of
we
the
have a
back of the
brand
camera?
new web UI coming out.
You have a new web UI.
You want to take a look at the back of the camera?
Yeah, I do.
They're
This will be
all
like
on-
version
they're all mounted, but I
27
can
of
show
your
you
web
There's
UI.
that
the
one.
imagery. I will use. You mentioned the back of the camera.
Yes.
Just while I have it up, I'll show you guys.
Okay.
Here's your NDI or IP feed. It's USB 2.0. This is no longer just a service port. This is actual connectivity. 3G SDI and HDMI. Of course, you still have RS-232 control, 12-volt power, or PoE+.
Tell me about the line-in jack. What do you know about that?
Well, you can plug in a microphone to that. And we
A
can do
microphone or a
audio
mixer
over
output?
SDI with these cameras now.
Sorry, say again.
You can do audio over SDI with these cameras now if you bring in
Gotcha.
a microphone into the line in.
Gotcha.
I think that's new as well.
So it's the only line in that supplies audio to the SDI, not HDMI. That's interesting. Okay. How many people
I'm not
connect that?
sure. I'm going to ask John to back me up on HDMI.
Yeah. How many people use
I believe
their
before it was only
input?
HDMI and now it's SDI and HDMI, but I'm going to let him verify for me.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, there's a good close-up shot.
Yes. Paul made this the other day. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mike.
All right. I like that. Very same familiar kind of backup back there. Yeah.
Okay, I got confirmation from
Sorry.
John. Audio over everything. IP, HDMI, SDI, and USB.
Well, there we go. All right. So the full boat.
Thank you, John.
John is just right on the spot.
Here's a close-up of the remote.
Oops, hold
where
on.
you
Let
can
me
see
go
the
back to the
tracking
other camera.
functionality.
Do that again, Lindsay. We missed you. Oh, there we go. There we go. You ought to sign up for as a vMix hand model.
Images. Here's the web UI.
There's actually a website called Hand Models. I think it's handmodels.com. It's set up by vMix just to do hand models. Yeah.
I was thinking more of The Price is Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
That was the look. All right, so this is the new web interface that has a live image
This is the new web interface.
and then allows you to move the cameras in the top right-hand corner. And then can you do tracking from this screen?
You can toggle tracking on and off
Okay.
via the web UI. And we don't have blocking zones set up or anything like that yet for these cameras. But the web UI has a lot of cool new features. You can do camera profiles via the web UI now. You can also change the logo, which is a fun little thing that's displayed on here.
Right.
And you can do your firmware upgrades right within the web UI with a press of a button, literally. We have a really nice, simple setup. And you mentioned a video coming out. Yes, there will be a video coming out. I don't have a look one here. Let me exit out and go to it.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Now I'm going to mess something up on one of these cameras going in here. But you can do your firmware upgrades right within the web UI with the press of a button. You no longer have to go to a firmware finder. It's all done right within the web UI. You can also rename your camera, and instead of typing the IP address into the browser to access that camera, you can type in PTZ Optics dot whatever you name that camera. So main cam, PTZ Optics dot main cam, PTZ Optics dot side cam. But to access your camera originally, you can simply type in PTZ Optics dot local.
So if I wanted to name my camera Tommy, I could do that.
Yes, if Tommy was on the show, or you are Tommy. I'm thinking Tommy Willis.
No, I'm thinking of Tommy Willis too. Yeah.
Yes.
We can name one Tommy.
I know he's in the chat.
One Jonathan and one Dave. And yeah. Hello, Udall. Glad you're here.
Oh, Udall. Right. Some familiar faces. Excellent.
All right. So what have we missed?
My own camera, he says.
We keep going back over this thing and we keep finding features that you guys didn't tell me about. So we got to make sure we've got everything. So we've got the new web UI. We've got a new remote, and the remote and the old remote can turn off and on tracking and switch tracking from one person to another. You've got 4K. You've got auto tracking, of course. Oh, we didn't talk about, you've got SRT. You always had SRT. Can you still live stream from the camera?
Yes, of course. And not only that, you can go live from within the web UI with a touch of a button.
No
Let's see
way.
If we have, yes, we do. Oh, we should talk about the Studio Pro as well. But let me see if I can find the Live Now button. Stream settings. So you can stream via RTMP directly from the web UI, and you can toggle your stream on and off with this drop down. So if you want to just sort of set it and forget it, there you go.
Got it.
What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty amazing. I think that's pretty amazing.
You also have your SRT settings.
A message to the audience for just a second. If you guys would like to pre-order this camera, you can pre-order it on my website, easternshorebroadcasting.com, and get in line so that when they open the box, when they open the container, your camera will be sitting right there on the very end, so you get yours first. So, yeah. Yep. You can get it. And they're, here we go. These are available in gray and white.
Correct. They are available in gray and white, as well as mounting options.
But you guys painted one a couple of years ago, didn't you?
We did. And Michael just sent me a video recently of Elgato, a new microphone, and they dripped paint on top of theirs. I was like, I think I know where they got that idea.
They copied you guys, yeah.
We're not as crazy as I thought.
You're trendsetters. That's right. And sometimes trendsetters end up being out there on their own for a while, until the rest of the world catches up.
People were unhappy that we painted the cameras.
They were all duds. They
Well,
were
I had a
dead.
client that actually painted their
time
cameras because they
was over.
wanted them to match the decor of what was going on in the room. So they painted them they painted them brown, and then they put some grains in it so it looked like wood grain. And the cameras just disappeared. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
There we go.
You'll have to send me a picture of that.
I will. Oh, I have
If
one.
you can
I'll
find
get
that.
one. I'll get
I've
one.
seen
Yep.
people put stickers on them with their own branding and things like that.
Oh, you could do that. You don't want to attract attention to the camera, I don't think. You just want the camera to be just there. Okay, so Lindsay has gone
Definitely.
off.
That's well,
There was some
there was
ruckus
some
outside.
loud talking happening outside of the studio, so she had to shut the
Oh,
curtains.
yeah. You need one of those red lights
I
out there in the
actually
hallway.
just quit.
What's
Yeah.
that?
You need one of those red lights out in the hallway that says on the air.
Yeah, like the
You
we're
just flip the
live.
little light
I know.
switch.
We just
Mhm.
haven't got around to that yet.
We actually did a setup with a PTZ Optics camera, Gen 2. It was a 20X in the boardroom for the local school board. And we attached
Did you?
the camera to power and to Ethernet. And the power was on a light switch. And the camera was set up whenever it was turned on to live stream. So if you flip that switch, the
Oh.
camera turned on and it live streamed. And so it was also attached to a red light that says on the air. So when they started, before they
Right.
started the meeting, they flipped the switch. The camera did its little warm-up dance and then went to position 0, which of course is the predetermined position that it would go to after it does its dance. And then started streaming, and the board would have their meeting. And when they were done, somebody just flipped the switch. I mean, it was idiot easy. That was the challenge. It was so easy.
Wow.
And your camera made it work because number one, it had streaming built into it, the ability to live stream, and had the ability to have a predetermined, what do you call it? A preset that it would come to after it turned itself on. Yeah. It was cool project. Cool project.
That's a pretty cool use case.
Yeah.
So your school board can do that too. Yes, it can. If
With
you
the
want
switch of
something
a
that's
light.
simple and easy. And now it got auto tracking. Oh my gosh. That's going to be so cool. Yep. The trick will be, now we'll save that for another time. All right. So pre-order them at easternshorebroadcasting.com. Let's see if we've got some questions here in the chat. If you guys have got some questions, Tommy wants you guys to use a
It's an interesting
shotgun to quiet the
conversation.
noisemakers. I think it's probably just the threat of a
I'm
shotgun
done.
that he's talking about. There we go. Zentient says that those cameras would work well in their community theater. There we go.
Excellent.
And Udall says that she's excited about this camera and had just started looking for this camera this week. So there's timing for you. So
Oh,
Udall,
really?
you can pre-order it in our website and pick out the 12, the 20, or the 30. And if you're not sure what you need, give me a call and we can chat about it. Tess, so far as the tracking is concerned, how far away can the subject be from any one of the cameras for the tracking to work? Or at what point does the person get too far away for the tracking to work?
Yeah, we actually
Do you have a
just did the official test of this week.
Ah,
And
awesome.
John is going to tell you in the chat because he's the only one with the numbers.
Oh, John is the only one that knows. Oh my gosh. All right. And Gunnar just
At this
announced
point,
that
I mean, it's not in the documentation yet. So
France beat Morocco 2-0.
you hear it here first. Let us know, John.
Oh, it's Alan Z. Oh, hello,
Mhm.
Alan. Alan just got back from a cruise. He had a 7-day cruise, that rascal.
Ooh,
All right.
jealous.
So I had a feeling that
Where
was the
to?
case. So John's getting together those numbers and finds out how far is the limit. And it's going to, I would assume it might be different from camera to camera. And I really want to talk to Matt and see how he's done this. At one point, y'all had talked about a camera with another camera in it. One camera would take care of the scoping out for tracking, but you've got all this in one camera now. This is even better.
Mhm.
Loving it. All right, let's see what
And
other
I can
questions
tell
we got.
you,
Yes.
while John's listening, not only do we have 12x, 20x, and 30x optical zoom, there's also an additional, I don't know what they call it, that it
Digital
doubles
zoom?
the zoom capability, so you can do up to 60. But I'm going to let him clarify exactly what the term is.
Like
for
an
that.
EPZ?
No. No, I
Probably a
forget what they
digital
called
zoom.
it.
That's what the old PTZ, not the PTZ, but the old handheld cameras, they'd have a 20x zoom, and then they say, but it goes to 100, but it just basically blows up the image. But you can do that with a 4K camera. You can take a 4K camera
Exactly.
and use the optical part of it to get 4K, and then go even further digitally. It reduces the resolution from 4K down to maybe 1080 or 720, but it still gives you a really high quality picture. That's good. So we're still waiting on John. So we'll go back through the questions. Tommy wants to know what's the Pennsylvania weather today. Have you guys got snow?
No, it's just chilly.
We might, though, later this week, I heard.
Oh.
Looks like John responded. It differs
Okay.
from camera to camera, as you'd expect.
Yes.
The 12x tracks out to about 160 feet, the 20x to
160
about
feet.
280 feet, and the 30x 350.
Do you know how far 160 feet is?
It's hard to picture, but I assume pretty darn far.
I mean, that would be like, Tess, if you laid down on the ground, it would be 32 of you would be 160 feet.
Jeez Louise. I know they had to go outside to do it because there wasn't a space that was long
Right.
enough to
Right.
max it out inside.
And the 20X at 280 feet, that's almost a whole football field. So you could put the
Yeah.
camera down at one end of the football field and have somebody at the other end of the football field, and the camera could still track them. That's amazing.
Who's
And the
going to need
30X
that?
with 350
Graduation.
feet. I mean, that's going from one end zone into the locker room on the other end. That's amazing. That's incredible. Can't wait to get one of these and
Divers,
test it.
cliff divers. Maybe not cliffs. I don't know.
We're going to need some new test footage knowing that knowledge, John.
Yeah, that's right. I want to see
Especially with the 30X.
32 Tesses laying down in order to do the camera.
We'll have to
Wow,
send me
I'm
back
surprised
up.
by those numbers.
We'll have to send me back up on like 10 meter and tell her to jump.
Yes.
See if it tracks me.
All right, Joe DeMax is here. He says, wow. Let's see what
Wow.
others.
Good to see you, Joe
Questions.
DeMax.
Here we go. Okay, I think we're up to date on most everything. If somebody that's watching this after the fact on YouTube has a question, you can send it to me, Tom, at easternshorebroadcasting.com, or you can go to PTZ Optics, and they have a contact form there where you can ask a question, or you can call them. Or you could send an email to 32tesses at ptzoptics.com. No, just teasing. Just teasing.
Or Facebook message, wherever you.
That's right. There are lots of
feel
ways to
so
get a hold of
inclined.
them. So you guys will be introducing this. I guess you've already started introducing it. And you've already done some test
Oh, yeah.
footage because we've seen some of the tests. I watched all the test footage I could find. But I will say, do more test footage. Do as much as you can from as many different venues as you can. You know, show people how to do it from worship environment, how to do it at a concert, you know, how to do it at a ballet or a theater production. You know, all the different kinds of places where somebody might want to do it. If you can find someplace local to go out and do that, that's going to attract
Yeah,
so much.
we're
Because when
working on
people
it.
go to YouTube, you know, they're going to say, okay, ballet auto tracking, and that's going to be their search criteria. And if you've got a video out there that
Right.
shows ballet auto tracking, boom, you know, there's 100,000 sales right there. All right, Alan wants to know.
Yeah, if you're in the.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you're in the Philadelphia area and you have a place for us to do test footage that you'd be willing to let us come in, let me know. Hit me up.
Oh my gosh, there's an offer right there. All right. And you get a free camera. Okay, that's even better. So
I don't know
Alan
about
wants to
that,
know,
but we'll
can
work
you
something.
give a general comparison about the remote PTZ control and the exposure versus a camcorder on a tripod? Oh, I can't. Maybe Jonathan can talk to a little bit about that. Alan, it's going to have, I mean,
Well, you
actually,
can.
one of the features you guys said is, you didn't say it, but it's got advanced white balance. That's not exposure though. But you can go into the web UI and change all the exposure settings, right?
Yeah, I think that's what's important to note, that these cameras can be accessed over IP. So
Yep.
you don't have to use a remote control and stand in front of the camera or be accessing a screen on the camera itself. You can access it over IP and change the settings via an application, via, yes, a physical joystick. You could also do a computer application, the web UI. There's all different ways to remotely access these cameras.
Okay, so if I'm doing a concert, an outdoor concert, and the sun goes down, I can adjust my camera to reflect the lower light as the light goes down. Or I can set it on auto.
Absolutely.
And it'll do it a little bit on its own. Oh, that's great. So I don't have to go up and mess with the camera. I don't have to change anything on the camera. I can do it all remotely through the web UI. Got it.
Yes, and with the web UI, you can also save certain presets for certain lighting conditions. So when it starts to get dark, you can just switch to your dark settings and it will automatically adjust to whatever presets you have set for dark conditions.
So if I'm doing a 3-day
like
gig
iris, exposure.
And the first day I can make my presets as the sun goes down and as the light gets lower, so that days 2 and 3, all I have to do is hit the preset. I love it. That's great. That's great.
Precisely. Exactly.
Yep. And that's what Jonathan says. This allows you to set the camera up in advance to be prepared for any light level. You just have to be able to duplicate the light level. That's the key. Yeah. But if you're doing it in a concert hall, and you can get the lights at the different levels you need in the concert hall, sometimes things like theater productions or ballet are tricky because the lighting changes during the course of the production. You might have blue lights for this, and you might have red tint lights for that, and you might the whole stage washed in white for something else, and it becomes really tricky. I did a beauty pageant scholarship contest, last year, and we had every gown was a different color, and so as soon as the camera hit the gown, the sensors went crazy, and we had to adjust on the fly for all the white gowns versus the black gowns versus the red gowns. It was really, I didn't see you guys there, by the way. All right. So Alan says exposure presets would be useful. There we go. All right. Very good. Well, I am tremendously excited about this. Now, you have another camera that you want to show me. So let me go full screen with you guys. And this is your new Studio Pro, which comes with the light attached. This is not a pan tilt, but it is a zoom. Lindsay's trying to illustrate something off screen, but oh no, we've got another camera.
There's the camera itself.
There it is. There it is. And are you guys using that camera for your production today?
We do have a feed from it somewhere if we're able to switch to it. It is plugged in.
Okay.
There you go.
There it is.
The lighting is not set up properly. Turn the panel light on. It does come with an included panel light. This camera is perfect for content creators, anybody who has an in-home studio, who wants to use this in their office, a podcaster. It's the other side, Lindsay, to brighten
I was going to say, did I
You're changing the color temperature and you want to brighten it a little bit. Yeah, it has a cold shoe on top that allows you to switch between a panel light and maybe a shotgun mic if you want, and pull it into the back of the camera. The quality of the camera allows, with this time of flight sensor that it has, it allows the focus to snap very quickly and the user to achieve like a bokeh effect. People who like that blurred background look.
Built
this
into
isn't
the
the
camera.
best space to demo it right now, but more on that
Okay,
coming soon.
switch to that camera if you would.
Michael switch for you.
There we are. Okay.
Was that
A lot of backlighting
Just
in that
step
shot.
away from it, Lynn,
so it
and
makes
let
it a
it
little
see me
harder.
because
Yeah.
you're so close to it next to the black wall. that
There we go.
It's just creating a shadow over your face. Hi.
And that's NDI.
Yes, this camera has NDI HX. It has HDMI. What am I missing? USB 2.0 as well.
But no SDI.
No SDI on this
No
camera.
SDI. Does it have audio input?
It does have line-in audio, so you
Okay.
could put like a shotgun mic on top of it, and then you have your audio and
Okay.
video in one nice little package.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. And what is the retail for this?
Ooh, $769.
Okay.
I might be a couple dollars off there one way or the other, but you're looking under $1,000 in the 700 range.
Well, that's a cool studio cam. I like that. A lot of times in the studio,
Yeah.
the biggest thing that you've got to do is to get the focus and the zoom right, not so much the side to side, but just good. That's
Did
good.
you say
I
that
like it.
does portrait and landscape?
I didn't. Thank
Ha!
you for pointing that out. That is a very important feature of it. The
Oh,
camera can go in portrait or landscape mode.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to reach those content creators with this, it was important for us to be able to cater to any type of, video workflow.
Gotcha.
Reels,
So it
TikTok.
adjusts that automatically?
Yes, there's a switch on the back that you can toggle between.
Okay.
And then you could also turn the camera and mount it sideways because there's
Right.
quarter 20 on the bottom and the side of the camera.
And on the side. Oh, wow. I like it.
Yes, sir.
Of course, the bottom becomes the side.
And
Yeah.
Kevin's asking, is there a version without the light? It's completely removable. It comes with the panel light, but it's a cold shoe on top. So anything with a hot shoe can be mounted on top of it. So it's very versatile. It's definitely, we're going for the people that would typically use like a DSLR for streaming, trying to show them that you can achieve that quality while using a camera that's meant for either live streaming or video conferencing.
They're like gamers.
And doesn't shut
gamers
itself
typically
off
do
after
that.
40 minutes. Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
Got it. Oh, you know what? We forgot a feature on the 4K camera.
What's that?
Can you think of what it might be? I'll give you a prize. I'll give you a barely
covered battery
used
life?
12-foot SDI cable if you can think of what it is. It just reminded me
How
when
could
you
I be
said
missing
that
something?
this new camera can turn sideways.
Maybe
What
the
am I missing?
pan?
Okay.
You can
The-
pan
the-
and
the-
zoom.
There's something I can think of about mounting it upside down,
Yes. Yes.
that it automatically switches its aspect. Is that what you're going to say?
Yes. Yes. So if you have to take this
It
camera
automatically
and mount
flips
it
the
upside down from the ceiling or from a bracket or something like that, because you can't mount it right side up, no longer do you have to go in manually and flip the image. The camera senses that it's upside down and it flips its own image. How cool is that? I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's
And you did remember.
very
Okay,
cool,
so I'm
especially if
sending
your
you this
camera is not
20-foot
easily
SDI
accessible.
cable. UPS, it should arrive in time for Christmas.
I've got plenty of SDI cable here,
All right, what else would
but I'll
you like?
take it.
HDMI?
Nothing, just your support and kindness.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, we have gone far too long. Udall is asking, when does the shipment start for the Move 4K? First of the year. Tess says guaranteed by the third week of January.
Yes, within the first few, very much likely sooner, but to cover our rear ends, we'll say by the third week.
Oh, and did we say this comes in
never know.
gray and white?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's right. That's right, because you could then paint it any color you wanted. All right, got it.
The Studio
Just cover the
Pro.
lens and the outputs before you paint. Go ahead and paint your camera.
Yeah,
The
that's
Studio
right.
Pro only comes in gray.
The Studio
Right.
Pro only comes in gray.
Oh, and there's one other thing that we haven't mentioned about the Move 4K. And that is
Another.
that PTZ Optics is your partner for the long term. And this camera comes with a 5-year warranty. 5 years. And that's going to cover the lens and the sensors and the tilting, panning mechanisms. I mean, it's limited parts and labor. Limited means you can't drop it and expect it to be there under warranty. You can't put it underwater. You can't do what Richard Ignacio would do and take it to the beach every day to although I bet he would like this camera at the beach because he could. Does it track just people or can it track objects?
It can track. Now, I'm only certain of living objects. Like it can track an animal. Now,
Okay.
like a vehicle, I would want confirmation from John on that.
Yeah, like a jet ski.
Yeah,
But the person
that
would
be
be on the
super
jet
cool.
ski. You could track the person on the jet ski. But it would be interesting to track
'Cause
the
it's not
cars.
facial.
I have a lot of customers.
gonna
that
try
run
my
racetracks.
cat.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are gonna just people. John says.
just
but
people.
Paul wants us to test the cat.
Yeah.
It would have to. Maybe we
Could
need
we
to
use
reassess.
it underwater?
No, definitely.
You
not.
can figure out a way.
In a globe or something that would be waterproof.
Oh,
I don't see why.
Can we
not.
I don't
can we
see
use
why
it
not
through
either.
glass? Does the auto tracking work through glass?
That's a great question.
Now we're
Someone
getting
can try
down to
it
the
out.
stuff. Tommy wants to know if he can track cows with it. I mean, there's
I
all
hope
these questions
so.
that are
People
coming
now,
out.
so I'm wondering if it is no animals.
I mean,
but
if it's just
Yeah, I
people,
thought
does
we
that
could
mean it
track
won't
cats.
do gorillas? Can you do monkeys? Monkeys are kind of like people. What about little people? What
I
about
don't know. I'm
kidlets?
waiting for him.
Will it do small children?
Oh, absolutely.
Will it track an image on a TV? So if we had a big screen TV
Jury's
and there
out
was
on
an
that.
image moving across it, I bet it couldn't do that.
I would have to test that.
Who would be dumb enough to
We'll
do
have to do
that?
a stress test on it.
Stressed it. Tommy wants to know about zombies. You can tell that we're getting to the end of the show because it's getting a little weird.
It always does. That's fine. We get a little loopy at the end of the day ourselves.
That's right.
over here.
Well, you guys have been champs to stay on so long and to be standing up, even though Lindsay is elbow assisted.
Me too.
And yes, so if you want to see one of these in person, what's your next trade show? Is it NAB or is there CES or what's coming up?
We're
for
actually going to
somebody?
be at CES
Okay. And CES is
and
the
then
big
ISE.
national USA trade show for audiovisual folks, and that's going to be in January. And then what did you say? ISE, is that Barcelona?
Barcelona.
And
in
then
February.
NAB in April.
And NAB.
Yeah. So plenty of chance. And if you come to NAB, you get to hang out with all the cool people. So there is that. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Because you
true.
guys will be there. I mean, y'all are the superstars. You've got to be. All right.
You as well.
John-
Are you going to be there this year, Tom?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. John says it should be able to track through glass since it's only relying on seeing a person. Huh.
Interesting.
There you go. There you go. There's an answer. And that's going to be important for somebody that wants to set it up in a booth back in the back of a theater or something like that. And the booth is glassed in. They want to be able to track through there. Cool. Good.
Sure.
Well, you guys are super. We're going to close out the live stream at this point.
Thanks.
Ask you guys to hang around for just 1 second after we cut the stream. But yeah, and here's Tommy with the comment of the day. Tommy says, judging by PTZ Optics reputation, you can order one of these sight unseen. So
Thanks.
pre-order.
We
All right, guys. Well
and
done.
don't forget, we do have in-office support to help you set these up once you do get your cameras.
Oh, they've got great tech support, both by phone and by tickets on email. Yeah. Tech support is great. Shout out to Andy and all that crowd for doing a super job back there. All right, sit tight. We're going to be out of here.
Thanks, Tom.